Have you ever daydreamed and imagined that you live like a Hollywood star? What if I told you that some of them live surrounded by a real mess made by none other than themselves? Well, at least that is what was once said about the huge family of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie by one of their former housekeepers when they were still the powerful couple Brangelina. Could it be that now that Angie got rid of the person who supposedly was more like her seventh child than a husband, and now she lives alone with her children in her 11,000 square foot mansion, she already has a little more healthy conditions? I'm not teasing you anymore, so you better stay with me because in this video I will tell you about the humble home of Angelina Jolie and some details of her other properties. But if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications. Now let's start. What would you do with a mansion built on an area of over 35,000 square feet of land, with a pool, a gym, 10 bathrooms and 6 bedrooms just for you and your children? It's a serious question. See, it's impossible not to start daydreaming, right? Well, those are just some of the amenities that Angie's current and massive house has. But before we fully get into all the details of Jolie's current premises, first I want to tell you about her other properties, which aren't any less luxurious or spacious even though they don't live there. We have already previously said it, that in the years when they were together, the duo Jolie-Pitt, Pitt-Jolie or Brangelina, whatever you prefer, built a real empire in every way. And of course, the good old estates were no exception. For example, in 2007 they bought a mansion with a lot of history in New Orleans. The property was built in 1830 and had nearly 7,700 square feet of living area. In there were 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, a beautiful classic spiral staircase, an elevator that connected the 3 stories of the home, walls with Venetian plastering, marble mantles, a spacious gourmet kitchen, and several balconies. And of course, I can't forget about the pool. When Brad and Angie bought the house, they had to spend the very modest sum of $3.5 million. But after their turbulent divorce, that mansion was one of the first things they wanted to get rid of, so they sold it for $4.9 million in 2016. And speaking of that complicated divorce that has been talked about so much, listen to this because you won't believe it. When the proceedings were over that same year in 2016, Angie, together with her 6 kids, had to rent a house. Can you imagine? How does someone with as much money as she has feel the need to rent property? Unless she didn't have any other choice, of course. What happened was that everything with the divorce went so fast that Jolie had too little time, and she wasn't going to take her 6 children to live in Cambodia, right? That would have meant changing schools, taking them away from their friends, in addition to failing to comply with the authorities' order that the kids had to stay close to Brad so that he could see them. So because of all that, Angie decided to rent a little house in Malibu, California. That new and temporary residence of the Jolie family was a property of 4,409 square feet and had 4 spacious bedrooms. So it looks like during those complicated times, the poor Jolie kids had to share bedrooms. And the mansion had only 4 bathrooms, so they had to share that as well. I wonder if with 7 people they still had to fight over whose turn it was to use the bathroom. But now I've just remembered that the property also had an extra guest room with its own bathroom. You may wonder whose pocket Angie's money went to during her stay. Well, it turns out that the mansion was owned by the director and producer of X-Men, Bryan Singer. He bought the house in 2010 for $8.5 million. And how much does a Hollywood star pay for the rent in a fancy postmodern mansion? Especially when it has a floating staircase, a double-sided fireplace, an outdoor kitchen, a gym, a pool, a view of the ocean from any room in the house, and even its own private path to the beach? Almost nothing. It's only $80,000 per month. Where do I sign up to leave a deposit a couple years in advance? I told you that it's impossible not to daydream. I've just said that the actress decided to rent a home instead of moving to Cambodia. And it's that Angie has a property in that Asian country, right in the rural jungle area. By the way, very little is known about that mansion because she didn't want to talk about it after the controversy that arose when people found out that Jolie bought it from an alleged war criminal. But in the behind-the-scenes video of a fragrance commercial that Angelina starred in last year, we could see that, like all her other properties, this one was equally wonderful. But besides the fact that she didn't want to change her nor her children's lives in such a radical way, that mansion is the location of the headquarters of her charity foundation. But her property in Cambodia is not the only one that caused great controversy. It's because in 2017, another of her properties was acquired together with her ex-husband, which, by the way, also brought them many problems. I'm talking about the 17th century castle located in Provence in southern France, which back then cost the then couple 45 million euro, which is $67 million. And also that year, the French interior designer and lighting expert Odile Soudan sued the company named after the castle Chateau Miraval, which was responsible for producing a line of rosé wines and champagne. The court ordered the Pitt Jolies to pay Soudan 565,000 euro, including 60,000 euro for damaging the reputation of the prestigious designer. But what was Soudan's problem? It turns out that when Brad and Angie bought the property, where, by the way, one of the best rock bands of all time, Pink Floyd, recorded their legendary album The Wall, Brad decided to ask Odile to come up with ways to use natural lighting to fill the entire estate. It included 4 buildings on the premises, together with the castle with its 40 rooms. However, according to the French designer, neither Pitt nor Jolie had paid her for her services. According to the documents presented in the lawsuit, Brad and Angie fell in love with Chateau Miraval and its expansive vineyards after seeing the area from the air when they were flying in their helicopter over the region. After renting it for some time, they convinced the former owner, who also was an American, to sell them the property. Once the sale was completed, Brad started what a French newspaper called a pharaonic project that included the installation of a gym, a spa, a huge wine cellar, and even a motorcycle track. I guess they didn't plan on staying in that beautiful castle that they refurbished, as they supposedly still had the house that Brad bought in 1994 for $1.7 million, and where they lived in Los Feliz in the Los Angeles area. What am I talking about? In 2013, Globe magazine published an article that said that apparently the Jolie Pitt family lived like real piglets. According to the publication, the information had been provided by a former housekeeper who had said that during her time in her former employer's house, there were pizza boxes and food scraps thrown everywhere. In addition to that, toothpaste wars were a usual thing among their 6 children. But according to the former keeper, it turns out that there was a 7th child in the home, or someone who behaved like one. I'm talking about Brad, who, according to the source, left his books and architecture magazines, one of his great passions, all around the house. Could it be that this was what pushed Angie to finally decide to care for only 6 children and not 7? Anyway, Brad and Angelina separated, and now it seems that she lives quite a happy life together with her 6 blessings in the same region of Los Angeles, Los Feliz. And how could she not live happily in a mansion built on 2.1 acres of land that has 6 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms? Well, it looks like someone will have to share a bedroom, but not a bathroom. Wait, actually Maddox is in college, so they should be good until he comes back. So with so many amenities in the house, everyone can spend all day doing different activities without having to see each other's faces. Would you like to live like that? Well, if you don't believe me, just listen to this. The mansion has an outdoor pool with fountains, a gym, and a patio with a barbecue area. But in addition to all that, any member of the Jolie family can simply take a book they want to devour from the house library with floor-to-ceiling bookcases and start reading there. Or go and do it either by the stream located in the spacious gardens or in one of the at least 2 living rooms, where one of which has a fireplace that can be turned on during one of those not-so-hot Los Angeles nights. Now, if the boss of the household has the time and doesn't want to leave her bedroom on one of those lazy Sundays, because after all, celebrities are just like us, Angie can simply stay in and admire the wonderful and majestic view she has from her master bedroom. And if she gets hungry, she can just go downstairs to the large kitchen and open one of its surely full cupboards to prepare something on the marble countertops or on the completely refurbished vintage stove. Later, she can enjoy her meal in one of the spacious dining rooms with wooden walls and elegant furniture. And what do we have left? Well, dreaming costs nothing, and neither does building your own mansion on The Sims. Does anyone even still play that? So tell us what you think of Angelina Jolie's spectacular and luxurious mansion and the other properties that I mentioned. Which one was your favorite, that you'd like to have as your house? If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like and share it with your people. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all our content. Until next time.